Hey everyone, and welcome back to another video from InsideWire. This video is part 1 of a mini-series on the Unifi Access. Now, I don't have too much knowledge about access security system, so I've put this series together for us both to learn about the product and how to get the most out of it. In part 1, I'm going to talk about the access product, what you might need to make it functional or fully operational. We will be unboxing the product and looking at the additional bits I've purchased to make this work. I've also made a makeshift door for us to do some testing on. Before we get started, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to this video to be notified about the rest of the series of this. All products used in this video are in the description below. A side note, these are linked to my Amazon affiliate account, but they don't cost you a penny more to use, so feel free to use them. If there's something you would like to see, please drop me a comment in the section below and I'll see what I can do. So let's get started. Let's have a look inside the box of the UA Access. So this is the kit. You can see the various bits that come inside. So let's jump straight in and open it. So it's got a little magnetic flip at the front here, which is nice, and all the, again, very simplistic design by UI for the packaging, has all the information on the back. So let's have a look. So we're both having a look at this for the first time, so let's have a look inside. Okay, so we can see that the unit is here. We have the UA Reader Pro and the UA Reader Lite. I'm assuming that this box right here is the cards, and there's actually $100 credit for the US store, which I'm not quite sure how that works in the UK or even Europe, but we can have a look at that. So we'll have a look at that after. So it shows you what you need to do on here. So it says you have your access software, UDM Pro is required, you need a switch and everything else that connects up here. This is how to fix the unit to the wall. This is how to fix the readers to the wall, which is on there, and the reader light, how to fix that to the wall as well. There's also some more information here, just safety notices and just I guess general T's and C's. So let's have a look here. So let's have a look at the unit itself. It's relatively small. It's not as big as I thought it would be, but that's good. It can be hidden away. At the top you have your PoE port input, and you have your outputs just here. On the back you have your mounting kit, if you want to mount it to the wall on DIN rail, and your various slots on either side. So you have your DIN rail on here, which is just there, and your screws are actually, let me just pop this down. So your screws are actually just in the bottom, just here, for those. Very nicely presented as always. Let's just pop that back. Let's have a look at this next. So the assumption is in here we have all the access cards. Let's just pull one out. So these are very nicely individually wrapped. You can see it comes inside the card itself. There's a plain back to it. It's got UI.com on the front of it. Assuming that you could probably put this through a printer of some sort if you wanted to print something on them. However, you probably don't. It says download the quick start guide here by scanning the QR code. So once you scan the QR code, there's a quick start guide there, so we'll pop that back in. Let's have a look at the UA Pro. So we have, once we take this out, you can see, there we go. So we have a fixed mount on here where you can put this onto the wall. It looks like it's got a little bracket on the back of it that you can turn and screw into the wall. You would feed that in. There's a screw hole here. and you would pop the reader straight into it once you've mounted it onto your wall. But looking at the reader itself, you can see it's quite nicely designed. It's got a camera at the top, and on the back of it is just a straight power over Ethernet port, PoE in. If we have a look at what else is in here, we have the screws. That is very nicely designed here. So you've got screws for the various fixed mounts. Comes with a screwdriver, and these seem to be very small screws, so it's got to be for something on there, but there's 5 of those. And actually also the one more thing you've got on here is a fixed mount plate. So if you want to put a plate, if you want to mount this plate somewhere, you can do. So you can mount that, put that on top, and just fit your reader in. So it varies whether you're fitting it on a plasterboard or you're fitting it somewhere else. On an external wall, you've got different fittings for what you want, where you want to locate it. Also within here, there's a spirit bubble that you can clip on to make sure your device is mounted straight, which I think is a really nice touch. And last but not least, we have the UA light. So again, same on here. You've got a similar sort of fixings. So you can take that off, put that to one side, and again, you've got all the different fixing points on here. You've got something that clips straight onto the wall. You've got your wall plugs, screws, and small screw again. We'll pop that to one side. And guessing again, this is probably an external mounted one, so yeah, similar to the other one. Yeah, so you can mount that again to an external wall or different types of walls, wherever you want to mount it. And again, the unit itself, it's got a little reset button at the top here, a couple of screws. Looks like it's got a little plastic ridge around it, and there's a little silver cover, a little clear cover at the front, and PoE in. So both of these devices are powered by PoE. There's no other additional cables to run here, and that's it for inside the box. I've just opened the quick start guide. The link is at the top here, and I'll also put it in the description below, so feel free to check that out. But let's have a quick look. So it shows you what the contents is and some of the packaging, what you might need for installation. But the one bit I wanted to look at here is the sample of the wiring topology. So what you can see on here is it shows all the different kinds of things you're able to plug into it, what you're able to use with it. So just going from the top just here, you can see that is the power over Ethernet socket that goes back to your switch. You have a UA light, a UA Pro, and you can plug in a camera straight into it. So I will be plugging all 3 of these devices in at some point. Also, along with these, the third-party devices that you're able to plug in. I think this looks like a motion sensor, so you can plug a motion sensor into it. You've got a door position switch, which will be plugged in here. You have a push to exit button, or some sort of button that you can put in here. You have I'm going to say this is some sort of siren for a door, so a buzzer for a door. You have the externally powered door opener, and also a magnetic lock. So the 2 things that I am going to be testing within the UA Access initially is the magnetic lock, which is just here, and I will be using the push to exit button, so these 2. Just scrolling down a little bit, you can see we have a hardware overview where you've got your lights, your inputs here, your power. Just going to quickly scroll down and have a quick look. So number 4 is your outputs, with number 5 being your inputs. So this would be your request to enter, request to exit, door position switch, and remote release. So that would be on this side. So output, input. And then if we have a look at number 7, so I'm not going to do number 6 and number 8 because you can see those are just the LED lights. And then number 7, if we have a look down here, are your output relays. and if we keep scrolling down, I'm not going to go into the default matrix of what it would look like. So this is the bit I'm probably interested in at the moment. So wiring it up, ensure the switch is connected. So you plug the connection straight into the switch, as I was saying, so where the power is. It needs 802.3 BT, which is PoE++, and then you can connect your UA Pro to the hub on one port and the UA Reader Lite on another port if you want, and also you can connect a camera to it. So as I mentioned earlier, I'm going to be connecting all three of these up. Now we scroll a bit further down, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to wire this up. So we're connecting a failsafe lock with no external power supply, so we're going to be going into this socket just here. So your plus will be going into this one and your minus will be going into this one. Now this quick start guide is quite good because it goes into other scenarios of what you might be using. So if you're using an external power supply, and the other one that we're interested in is this one just here, so connecting a push button. So the push button, what it says here, they work all the same way. So request to enter, request to exit, release button, they all work the same way. If you want to connect other bits like a motion sensor, it shows you how to do that, a siren, a door position switch, so a door sensor, and there are other things if you want to connect an automatic door opener. So they really have thought of a few different things, a few different scenarios for you to do. And then it goes into a bit more detail on how to wire it up. But I'm going to be doing a video on this part on how you wire it up, so I'm not going to go into too much detail here. Just to show you the other bit as I mentioned earlier, so the power 802.3 BT, and then you've got your other three that plug into here. So you've got your UA Lite, you've got your UA Pro, and then you've got your G3 Flex. And then it goes on to configuring the access controller, which we'll cover in another part. So now we know what two items that we're going to be installing on the door. Let's go ahead and have a look at these. So just to cover a couple of other bits that I've purchased, so we've gone over the unboxing, we've had a look at the quick start guide. So what I've gone ahead and purchased is a magnetic lock. So I've bought probably the smallest one I can find for a demo unit that we can use. So this is it, and it's got the other bits inside that we need for it. And then I bought a push to exit button, again just the smallest one, easiest one that I can use and fine to fit. Pop that there. So the last thing I purchased was a PoE injector for 802.3.BT. So I realised that this device requires PoE++, which I don't have on my Generation 1 switch. So I've bought a Power over Ethernet injector for us to test that out and make sure that works. Once again, subscribe to my channel and join me for part 2, where I install all the wiring, cabling it up to the Unifi Access hub. One thing to note is you do need a PoE++ port, so before you look into this, make sure you have a PoE++ port, or else you'll find yourself buying an injector like I did. I hope you found this video informative. I have dropped the links in the description below for all the products used in this video and other ones. Again, they're linked to my Amazon affiliate account, so check them out and it won't cost you a penny more. If you've enjoyed this video, please do hit that like button. This is InsideWire, and I'll see you in the next one.